Good afternoon, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world, with my buddy Josh, who's helping me out today. Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. This is going to help a lot of people. You're going to want to share this with folks. This is something that has not been discussed. I've never heard any of the gurus that I follow talk about it before. And my hope is that it liberates you and other people who may struggle with anxiety or fear. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is exactly what we're looking at. Okay, so we're just going to start with the real basics, which is the thing you fear. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little story as we go along with it. So this is the thing you fear. Okay, whatever that thing is, we'll put it right there. That's the thing you fear. Normally when you're feeling feelings, it's because you're thinking about something, and when you're thinking about that outcome causes fear. So when you have that feeling of fear, it can become overwhelming if there are several things that you're thinking about that are bringing you to a place that you have no resolve in your mind, okay? So here's the challenge that we have with that. The biggest challenge is this, that most people don't even realize is hurting them. It's the effect of that fear. The effect of that fear physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally is very, very, very challenging, because the effect of that fear can paralyze you. And most people get paralyzed. They get locked into not taking action. They get locked into staying where they are. They feel bound and unable to move forward. Many times it affects their physical health. The physical health of somebody is affected when they are in fear. So when you have found yourself in fear, you may not realize this, your body is actually reacting because of the chemicals that are being released because of that fear, okay? Now I'm going to show you a couple of graphs right here. I'm going to separate these two graphs by this line right here. And we're going to do a graph on one side and a graph on the other, okay? So here's the graph right here. You have fear on this side, and you have time right here, okay? So here's the story I want to begin with so that we can talk about this on both sides. On this graph, we also have fear, and we also have time. Now, as we look at fear over time, and the scale that we're looking at here is a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being the least amount of fear, 10 being the highest amount of fear. You can understand that. You've had different levels of fear. And I really respect the fact that everybody has a subjective sense of fear. Josh, again, I really appreciate that. You know, it's so cool for my son to be helping me out here. That way I can remain focused and not have to worry about the camera falling over. Really do appreciate that very much, Josh. So when we look at fear on a scale of 1 to 10, fear on a scale of 1 to 10, and over a period of time, there are a couple of challenges right here. Here's what happens. Okay, this is, according to our little symbol up here, this is the thing that we fear, okay? That's the thing that we fear. Does that make sense? So what happens is we start really focusing on the thing that we fear, we lock in right here, and then we experience that particular height of fear over a period of time. This could be maybe 1, 2, even 3 years' time. And I'm going to give you a new definition of fear. You've heard a lot of different things about it, but I've really boiled it down to this. Fear is feelings experienced aside from reality. These are feelings you experience aside from reality. It's not even happening. So here's the challenge with fear. When you begin to fear something, you give energy to that fear. You awaken it, and you have this resolve inside of you that cannot be adjusted. It is affecting you as if the thing you fear is happening all the time. It's always there with you because you've empowered the fear and given energy to it by acknowledging that fear. So your fear, again, it's feelings experienced aside from reality. Reality is not even happening. The thing you fear. So let me talk to you about something that happened in our lives. We have 7 children, of course. When our kids start driving, okay, there's a lot of fear for parents that can come around with that. So I've got a daughter, Victoria. Many of you in the real estate world know Victoria. She runs the Maloof team. I know Scott's going to have fun with feelings experienced aside from reality because Scott's the one guy that knows all the nomenclatures that we put up there. It's a fantastic thing. This is a new one you're going to be able to talk about. When a parent knows they've gotten their children a car, here's the thing that they fear the most, that those kids will be in an accident. Okay? So that's the thing we fear for this situation. It's an accident in a car by one of your kiddos. Car accident. You give the kid the keys to the car, fear. Every time they go out, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I hope they're safe. I hope they're okay. I hope they're safe. I hope they're okay. If any of you had kids that drive, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Fear. Now, an accident hasn't happened, and yet you are experiencing the feelings. You're experiencing the feelings aside from reality every time your kids go out and drive. Every time they're out late at night driving. Every time they're on the road and you don't know where they are or what they're doing. You're experiencing those things. Does that make sense? You're experiencing the fear as if it's already happening. So you are making payments on something that you don't even own because it's a feeling experienced aside from your reality. Okay? Now here's what I want to show you for real, because our daughter Victoria was in a car wreck. We had that thing that parents fear the most, that the phone went off at maybe 1:30 in the morning several months ago, and we understood that she had been in a terrible wreck. The car had caught on fire, was totaled. What we heard on the phone was freak out. Now let me show you the difference, okay? Time and fear. Here's the thing we fear, right? If you learn how to manage your fear, here is exactly what will happen. You don't have the fear. You have, instead, faith. You have confidence. You have trust. I don't know who you trust in or what you trust in. Maybe their driving skills. Angela and I choose to trust in God as our comforter, as our provider, as our saver, as our healer, as our deliverer, as our protector. We have a trust. So we don't fear when they go out. We have a thought and we don't give energy to the fear because we say, God, we place her in your hands tonight as she goes out driving. Cover her with the blood of Jesus and protect her. Send your angels to surround her. And we just place her in your hands. And so we don't have the spike of fear that you maintain over time. Now get this. This is when it gets big, guys. When the thing we feared happened, the accident, when it happened, here's what happened. Boom, hit right here. And then it came right back down to here. And the thing we feared wasn't a sustainable thing that we gave energy to. When something occurs or happens that you fear, the fear took about 5 to 15 minutes. 5 to 15 minutes. Here's how it went down. Mr. and Mrs. Collins, your daughter's been in an accident. She's okay. The car caught on fire. It's on the side of the road. Let me put her on the phone. She's pretty shaken up. That's when fear hit, like, oh my goodness, is she going to be okay? Oh my goodness, is she going to be okay? But here's what happens when you have faith instead of fear. The 4 R's, okay? 4 R's. The first one is going to be your response. The second one is going to be, I need to put my glasses on so I can see this, get it just right. Resourcefulness. Are you laughing at me, Josh?
Sorry.
That's all right. The next one's going to be relationships. I don't fear that you are making fun of me or laughing at me. I think it's pretty funny that you think it's funny. Okay, and then your resolution.
Sorry.
It's okay, buddy. I know this is like, woo, but you're going to love it one day.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. The thing you feared all the time. Oh my gosh, she's out driving. Oh my gosh, she's out with her friends. Oh my gosh, it's late at night. Oh my gosh, from the time she's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, your body is tripping out, your mind is tripping out, the chemicals in your body are going ape crap crazy because you are in a sustained state of fear. If you're in a place of faith, now your fear is down here. The accident happens, the thing you fear happens. For about 5 to 10 minutes, you deal with this fear, and then it spikes back down because you kick into gear your 4 R's. First, you have your response. Here's the great part about that thing that you fear. When you fear it all the time and it screws up your life, that's not the way you should be living. Here's what happens when you live by faith. You get the news of the thing that you feared. Your daughter's been in an accident. Boom, immediate fear happens for a split second. But guess what happens when the thing happens that you didn't want to happen, that you were afraid would happen? When that thing happens, you don't stay in sustained fear. You know what you do? Here's the culmination of everything. You have a response, and immediately you realize being locked in fear and paralyzed is not going to accomplish anything. Very few people lock up and paralyze and stay in that state like this for 20, 30, 40 minutes. They don't. What do? They get into action and they become resourceful. Then resourcefulness kicks in. Okay, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to deal with this? What are we going to do now? And then you depend on your relationships. Hopefully your relationship with God first. Then the people that will come around you to help you, to support you. Who do you call? Who do you enlist? Who can you count on that gives you strength? And then you come to your resolution. But do you see what happens, ladies and gentlemen? When we walk in fear, and fear is kicking the crap out of us, we are feeling something, experiencing those feelings aside from reality. We're feeling these feelings and experiencing these feelings aside from reality because the thing hasn't happened. So we get to worry for years and years and years, or we can choose to have faith, not worry, and then when the thing happens, realize fear is just a blip on the radar. The very thing you were afraid of happening that you've been paying for emotionally and mentally for years, you didn't have to pay for, because when it happened, you just freaked out for a second and then you responded. Then you got resourceful. Then you depended on your relationships. Then you formulated your resolution. Okay, what do we do, Angela? Victoria's been in an accident. Let's get dressed. Let's get ready to roll. Let's jump in the car. Let's head over there. Who do we need to call? What do we need to do? Let's double check. Let's think what we're going to have to do. I'm already beginning to think. We're going to have to call USAA. We're going to have to make sure everything is okay. Want to make sure we need to check with the doctors and then make sure that everything's going good. Okay, relationships. Who do we need to connect with? Who is going to help us through this? Who knows someone that we need to know in that situation? And then we get the resolution, and now you work the plan. So do you see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? The thing you fear, maybe it's a car accident. The problem is the effect of that fear is it jacks you up. The fear, which is your feelings experienced aside from reality, you spike up here to a level 10 in fear, and you stay in fear all the time for that accident. And yet you're living every single time they go out as if she's been in an accident. Not realizing that when he or she gets in an accident or something does happen that you fear, you only fear it for a second and then you got to get into motion and fix it. Does that make sense? You get into motion to fix it. So what is my point today, ladies and gentlemen? My point is very, 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 very simple. You don't have to walk in fear. Because the thing you fear is going to happen is giving you feelings that you're experiencing aside of reality. You're feeling a thing as if it's happening all the time. And it's not happening all the time. It's going on in your head. And that's robbing you of faith. It's robbing you of joy. It's robbing you of boldness. It's robbing you of power to be who you were created to be. You were not designed to walk in fear. You were designed to live by faith, believing. I hope that makes sense to you. So I'm going to wrap up and give you the final conclusion with this. When you walk in the fear of something, you empower it, you give it power, you become its slave. And it's as if you're experiencing the effects of it all the time. There's feelings experienced aside from reality. Fear, F-E-A-R, feelings experienced aside from reality. Yet when the actual thing you fear happens in real life, this is what happens. You respond. And then you get resourceful. You start figuring out. Then you draw on your relationships for strength and help. And then you come to a resolution and you begin working out. Do you see what I'm saying? The thing you feared is just a blip of fear on the radar, and then you get into motion and you get into resourcefulness. So my charge to you today, ladies and gentlemen, is don't be afraid. Don't fear. Don't be scared. Be bold. Be courageous. Please understand this. You were born for greatness. To live in greatness and walk in greatness, you have to kick the crap out of fear. I hope today you choose to see it differently and let go of the fear that's been holding you back. Have a great day, guys.